Hey my friends, Christian here and welcome to this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now and click on the notification bell so that each week you may receive a new video. In this video, I want to discuss about the podcasting journey, the milestone that we've been able to achieve. To be honest, a year back, I did not know that I'll start a podcast. I remember it was a Sunday, it was a certain Sunday in July last year, just after my birthday, that I took my phone and I started recording. I did not realize back then that that was my first episode among many series. It started out of passion and I did not have much expectation what it will be. I never learned about podcasting, but when I started, I did some research of the things that I wanted to do. My passion drives me, and that is why one thing I can tell you: never let anything block your way. Never let anything stand against you to start the things you're passionate about. Back then last year, I did not have any recording equipment. The only tool I had was my phone, right? And with my phone, I started my first ever episodes. Then from there, we wanted to upgrade and make our podcasting experience more professional. My team and I, we invested in equipment. We bought equipment and we started this journey. To be honest, the journey was with high and lows. There were good times and bad times. There was a lot of learning and error and iteration and improvements. But what we were ready to learn was we are ready to improve. We are ready to be consistent. And one of the things that I've learned in this journey was consistency. Each week we were releasing at least an episode, unless when we're just traveling or we're on holiday. But we've been consistent during this journey. And one of the milestones that we were able to accomplish last month was we released our episode 41 of the School of Business Makers. But it was not only about releasing, but it was also about learning. And by learning, I mean being humble to receive feedback from your listeners. Thanks a lot for amazing listeners who were able and ready to share their feedback with us. And we took all those feedback in action. We improved our video, our audio quality, and we will never be tired of receiving your feedback, because we want to provide quality and top-notch content that will enable you and educate you so that you can get value out of it. Another biggest achievement, milestone and learnings was to bring on more conversation on the School of Business Makers podcast. I started hosting, sharing my experience and different best practices, and we later upgrade and start bringing guests, and that was like the turning moments, the amazing moments, not only for our listeners, but also for us to learn. We had guests from different industries. Remember, the goal of the School of Business Makers is to share amazing stories of entrepreneurs, share different best practices, bring conversation in the industry to educate, edutain, and uplift our spirit, our game into the business world. Either as an entrepreneur, either as an aspiring entrepreneur, either as business leader, either as an investor or a professional trying to venture into the business world. Those are the types of conversation we bring in to educate, empower you, motivate you so that you can be successful in the business world. And once we brought in guests, that was the turning moment, and we had different conversation. We learn from different other perspective, and also our guests learn, and that was the amazing experience. And the good news is, August 3rd, we're starting season 2 of the School of Business Makers podcast. And the goal is we want to bring our podcast experience open to the regional markets. Not only the regional markets, but we want to bring more conversation outside, and we want to bring more conversation to the African continent. We want to have more conversation from different other countries all over the continent, so that we can share different experience and share different stories. Because we realize that there are a lot of African stories, there is a lot of entrepreneurs and business stories that are not shared, and hence there is a lot of stories that is left behind. And we want to open a room, a platform where all the stories will be shared, all the experience will be shared, not only for successful entrepreneurs, but also those who failed. On top of that, we also want to share the stories of those who are still on their journey. Because there is a lot of best practices, there is a lot of amazing stories, there is a lot of learnings that can be shared, even for those who are still on their journey. But we will not stop only at the African continent level, but we will also go beyond by bringing also global conversation, so that we can learn from each other as a global community, because the entire world is more connected than ever, and with different stories from other entrepreneurs on the other part of the world, we can be able to share stories. We can be able to educate, motivate, inspire, uplift each other up. So if you've been part of this journey, if you've been a fan of the School of Business Makers podcast, we're looking forward to your recommendation. We're looking forward to your feedback. What are the topics you'd like us to share? Feel free to shoot us an email. Feel free to DM us. What are the types of conversation you like to hear, you like to listen to? And we'll be very happy to bring those conversations right to you. As always, feel free to share our podcast link, channel to some of your friends. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on social media. My handle is Kitumaini. And don't forget to also go and subscribe to the School of Business Makers podcast. We are on over 7 podcast distributors on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Radiocast, among others. Till next time, guys, take care. Peace.